All right, happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody. Happy Wednesday night here in Raiderland in the Arctic Air Studios, where the air is going to get a little Arctic tonight, tomorrow, and the next day. So you need to call the bear if it gets too Arctic. You know what to do. All right, we got stuff to talk about here on Thanksgiving Eve. What if Wednesday? We love alt history tonight. We're going to talk about the idea of what if, instead of hiring Jerry Moore in 1981, Texas Tech officials hired NFL Hall of Fame quarterback Bobby Layne. We'll discuss in a moment. We got that. We got basketball, Lady Raiders in St. Thomas. The men are playing here in town this weekend. And if you want to get into your favorite Thanksgiving sports traditions or otherwise, maybe you, as a family, do something every Thanksgiving, whatever it may be, hey, hit us up on the chat line brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street, whether you are on Twitter X. And we want to hear from everybody on Twitter. Twitter is huge numbers. A lot of it, though, and we love the replay people. So the live Twitter people, jump in. You can do it. It's okay. You can comment. Thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street, where if you were there fighting the battle of Thanksgiving today, dog food, cat food. Went in, got out. The carnage was real. But hopefully you guys were able to get in and get out, no problem. Now, we are brought to you in part by Sideline Provisions, owned by Red Raiders, great Red Raiders. They want you to look good, whether Texas Tech is up, down, or in between. You're always going to look good with Sideline Provisions gear, shirts, caps, everything in between. You can find it at the new Quarter 4, which is the old Cardinal Sports Center. Same location, new name. Check it out. Quarter 4, there on the internet. You can, if you're outside the market, you want good Sideline Provision stuff, just go to the website, go over there to Raider Gear or a Red Raider Gear or whatever it is, and then drop down. We link to it on our website, theraiderland.com, so you can get there. And by Golf USA, it's that time of year, that wonderful special time of year where it's time to save a little money buying golf stuff. Go over to Golf USA, tell them we sent you. Stacy Nick's great Red Raider, fantastic dude. And it's just still the best in the business here in West Texas when it comes to, golf, supplies? That didn't sound like the right word, but from equipment, technology, and everything else. They got you taken care of at Golf USA, 66 in Indiana in the Hubaplex. All right, let's get it going tonight in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan at theraiderland.com. Tonight, What If Wednesday? We started this a few weeks ago now. It was kind of thrown out there by an avid, is it avid or avid? By a longtime listener. And so what if we did this every Wednesday? What if things go different? So tonight, Texas Tech history, those who might know it, those who might know it, the younger fans might not even know that Bobby Layne was a longtime Lubbock resident and married to Dr. Kruger's daughter, Carolyn Kruger. And after he retired from the NFL, they made home in Lubbock in the 60s, 70s, 80s, till he passed away in 86. And there are a lot of folks that might not even know that about Bobby Layne. Then there's probably even fewer that knew how much he coveted the Texas Tech head coaching job in 1981 when Jerry Moore got it coming out of North Texas. Tonight we asked the question, what if Texas Tech actually hired Bobby Layne in 1981? Given the landscape of the game, where Texas Tech was, everything that was going on, I'll give you my thoughts. You give me yours. We can discuss that. Anything else you want to get into tonight? We'll have more Tech football on Friday. Pardon me. I don't know. I got something going on there in the throat. We'll do a lot more Tech football, West Virginia, and everything else Friday. But I thought tonight we'd concentrate on Thanksgiving traditions, sports or otherwise. Your questions or comments, make it happen there thanks to United Supermarkets, whether you're on YouTube. And I hope everybody's subscribing to the YouTube channel. Don't cost nothing. Facebook Live, same deal. Or you're watching on Twitter X. So let's do it. All right. They're off the Twitter X, Jacob. Happy Thanksgiving to Hyatt and the family and to all those in the Raiderland community. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Hold on a second. There we go. Product placement. I got to turn it all the way around. There we go. Tasty. We go from Twitter X to the YouTube channel. Alan, my favorite Thanksgiving sports tradition includes watching the Maui Invitational and other invitationals all week that go late into the night. If Maui is on, family is near. And we miss the Great Alaska Shootout that would take us late into the evening. Tech played up there twice, I think. Once under Gerald Myers in around 90, I think, 90, 91, right in through there. I could probably backtrack it because I was in Hawaii with the Lady Raiders, so it was probably 90. And Jack was up there doing Texas Tech men's broadcast. So, we were about as far away as you could be doing Texas Tech broadcasts. One of my regrets broadcasting, never got to go to Alaska to call games. Everywhere else, pretty much, never got to go there. The Great Alaska Shootout. Now we couldn't even have it. They'd have to call it something different. So that's where we are tonight. Let a few of you guys get in. We'll go through the history of 1981 as Rex Dockery is bolting Texas Tech after succeeding Steve Sloan, and he wanted to get back to SEC type country. So he takes a job there at Memphis, and now the job is open. And it was a critical moment for Texas Tech. You had great runs there in the 70s. It was trailing off a little bit under Dockery. You were teetering one way or the other. And in that moment, Bobby Layne, NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, desperately wanted to coach. People don't realize he did a lot of coaching, just not as an official coach, not at a university or a high school or anything else. He coached the Texas All-Stars for many years in what was called the Big 33 series with Pennsylvania All-Stars, and he'd whip them. So in the early 80s, he desperately wants to be the head coach of Texas Tech. And a lot of people didn't want him to be the head coach of Texas Tech. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Bobby Layne, he drank beer and cocktails. He was what some folks might call a rounder. He liked to have a lot of fun. He caroused, not in a negative way. He loved on Carolyn Kruger like you can't imagine. But the Lubbock Country Club folks, whom he was a member at, and others, just couldn't wrap their minds around the idea of handing him the keys to the kingdom in 1981. So they go with Jerry Moore, coming out of North Texas. Moore had been the offensive coordinator under Tom Osborne in Nebraska and had a pretty good run. He takes over at North Texas after Hayden Fry leaves. This is a critical time at North Texas because they were trying like hell to get into the Big 12, into the Southwest Conference in the late 70s. And that's one of the reasons, among others, that Hayden Fry left. So they hire Moore. And Moore has a 2-year run that was moderately pedestrian on the record. We look at it, about 500, maybe 2 games over 500 in 2 years there. But he wore cowboy boots to the interview, and that sold a couple of people. But it was more the hesitancy to go with a guy, a well-known party animal in Bobby Layne, with no coaching experience or anything else. Now, what would have happened if they had gone with Layne? We're going to explore that with you tonight. You can give me your thoughts, your questions, your comments. I don't know, for a lot of younger fans, this is kind of new information probably. Let's see. Carter McKenzie, my man. Bobby Layne would have got several Cotton Bowls in between stints on probation. Still overall would have been awesome hire. That's the easy answer, is that if you thought SMU in the mid-'80s was hell on wheels, or even the early 80s into the mid-'80s when they get the death penalty, I think Texas Tech would have been hide and watch. Now, Bobby Layne, he basically told him when he was rolling, he said, yeah, my coaching staff, I'm going to hire Doak Walker. I'm going to hire Don Meredith. Now, I know for younger people, you go, well, that's no big deal. In 1981, if Don Meredith is walking into your house recruiting you, you're paying attention. It would have been fascinating. I think Texas Tech would have won. Somebody earlier today on our Facebook page, I think, said it would have been akin to hiring Deion Sanders, although Deion Sanders' more coaching experience at that point getting the job at Colorado than Bobby Layne would have had. It was a gamble they weren't willing to take at a time that a lot of Texas Tech people thought, hey, we're fine. We're in a good position. We're coming out of the 70s, where the 70s had been much better than the 60s. You had been just this close to playing for a national championship in 1976. If you don't have the ankle injury against A&M to Rodney Allison in 77 earlier in the year, you might have had a Heisman Trophy candidate and another really good shot to be a top 10, top 5 team, Southwest Conference winning team. So the idea in 1980, even after Dockery leaves, is that this program is just right there. And Jerry Moore comes in again with a strong pedigree, the Tom Osborne's not system, but having coached there and taken over for Hayden Fry at North Texas. So it's What If Wednesday. And you want to talk Tech basketball, we can do that. You want to talk Tech football going in, we can do that. And I know we've got a lot of people on a holiday. I'm not expecting a huge, massive turnout tonight. That's kind of why I wanted to do this topic, because it's a talking topic. It's not necessarily a fire away Q&A, although if you got them, that's fine. So with What If, we go, okay, so let's say that the powers that be at Texas Tech say, all right, what the hell? Bobby Layne, you got the job. Now Bobby Layne's the head coach. I think you're definitely on probation within 3 or 4 years. And you're winning big. But that's the secondary deal, because with alternate history, there's the what happens next. So that means Jerry Moore isn't hired. So Jerry Moore, if he's not hired at Tech, probably stays at North Texas another year or two, and probably wins. We saw what he did at Appalachian State. So we think that Jerry Moore at North Texas, they overcome the abrupt departure of Hayden Fry, not getting in the Southwest Conference. Things solidify, and maybe he has an 8 or a 9 win season, which back in the day was pretty good. Remember, this is North Texas. So Moore's there for another year or two. That puts us into what happens at TCU, which is in 83, 2 years after Texas Tech would have not hired Jerry Moore, and he's winning at North Texas. We think he wins there. That TCU is looking for a head coach. Now, they dip down in reality and go to South Texas State and get Jim Wacker, who's winning big. But in the alternate history, just up the road at North Texas, they can hire Jerry Moore. Why did they hire Jerry Moore? TCU did not want North Texas to be good. TCU and SMU were keeping North Texas out of the Southwest Conference aggressively in the 1970s, into the 80s, and finally North Texas goes to the Sun Belt. So the best way to kill off your threat is to take their head coach away. So in 83, in this alternate realm, Jerry Moore goes to TCU instead of Jim Wacker. Now, I don't know where Jim Wacker goes after that. Could have been a lot of destinations. But the TCU in 83, instead of hiring Wacker, and you get the Killer Frogs, well, that was actually Jim Killingsworth in basketball. You get Kenneth Davis, you have a pretty good run, then they get on probation. Why? Everybody in the Southwest Conference in the 80s was on probation at some time except for Rice. Look it up. Texas Tech, yeah. So now there's no Wacker at TCU. No, there's no unbelievable, his catchphrase at TCU. Moore goes there. So Moore goes to TCU. Does he win? I don't know. Is it just Tech delayed 5 years? I don't know. But then you have to wonder, if that takes place, does Jerry Moore ever end up at Appalachian State? Because Jerry Moore gets fired with 1 game to go in the 1985 season, pardon me. And He's out of football for a year. He goes to Arkansas under Ken Hatfield, hangs out there for 2 years, and then he gets the Appalachian State job, and he becomes a Hall of Fame head coach. He upsets Michigan and Lloyd Carr there at the Big House. We all know the story. Does he ever get there, if he doesn't get the Tech job, to get fired? Meanwhile, back in Lubbock, Bobby Layne has Texas Tech rolling, and in 1984, the NCAA comes calling, and instead of SMU, Texas Tech is on the death penalty for 2 years. I have no doubt that Texas Tech could have done that. It's Texas Tech in the 83 Cotton Bowl against Pitt in Dan Marino. It ain't McElhaney. It ain't SMU. It's Texas Tech. And then the NCAA sets up a field office in Lubbock, Texas, because, every time Notre Dame cheats, somebody like Tech gets put on probation. Alan, if Bobby Layne would have won at Tech early, Freddie Akers gets fired earlier than he was. Probably. So it's 83, 80, 81, 83. I can't remember which year that Texas goes and loses to Georgia in the Cotton Bowl. That might have been 83. I think that's right. 83. They had a bad punt in that game, and that kind of special teams killed them. And then SMU the next year. So let's say Layne comes in. Maybe you get after Akers early on, and Akers is gone before 87. Gets fired after the 86 season, McWilliams and everything else. There are those who say that Bobby Layne was so intent on getting that job, the Tech job, that when he didn't get it, it hastened his death. He passed away in 86, really sick for the last 2 years of his life. When Detroit hosted the Super Bowl, I believe it was 84, he was there. He did the coin flip. The picture you see on our site, theraiderland.com, adjacent to all this stuff, that's him practicing flipping the coin. Again, I think he would have been a really good coach. I really do. And I think the people that say, okay, look at Deion Sanders, that would have been maybe the model 40 years before, 50 years before almost, of a Deion Sanders, of a Bobby Layne coming in, and it would have been hell on wheels. It would have been great. But at the time, there was no way in hell the people down at First Baptist Church, First United Methodist Church, they weren't going to let that happen. Broadway Church of Christ, that wasn't going to happen. He was not going to get it. Now, was he, would have been rough around the edges? Maybe, I don't know. But I've seen some coaches have some success around here that might have stayed out a little late at night, might have enjoyed a drink or two or three or four, or, Coach, we got to go now. All right. But in 1981, it just wasn't going to happen. So that sets Texas Tech back damn near a decade. That until you hire McWilliams, limp into the bowl game, not limp into, that's a wrong way to say it. In 86, you finally get back to a bowl game after 10 years. And then you hire Spike, and then you have the 89 year, and then we know what happens after that. Would have been fascinating to see. But now, how close it was to happening, that's another question. It depends on who you ask. And more today, the decision makers from that realm, they're dead. They're gone. So we have to rely on, stories we've been told, written transcripts, everything else. By the way, if you want to learn more about Bobby Layne and really his time in Lubbock and everything else, read Heart of a Lion by Bob St. John, who was a great sports writer there in Dallas. I believe he was with both the Times Herald and the Dallas Morning News. Great book. Came out about 1990. And if you want it goes into great detail about the quest of Bobby Layne wanting to be the head coach of Texas Tech. So there we go. In another world, Layne gets the job. Jerry Moore never comes to Lubbock. Maybe stays at North Texas a year or two. Could go to could go to TCU, maybe never ends up at Appalachian State. We don't have a great upset. They're in 06 or whatever it was, 08, whatever it was. I can't remember which year it was when they went there and beat Michigan. He doesn't become a Hall of Fame coach, but maybe he does. We'll never know. But Jim Wacker, maybe he never gets that TCU job and he has to take the Rice job. And all of a sudden he's Ray Alburn. Look it up, Ray Alburn. And it don't matter. This close, man. History's awesome. And that's why I love history, that people you can't really understand what could have been if you don't know the history the first time around. So jump in, your questions, comments. I'll go another 5 minutes or so. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. It's a holiday deal. We will be with you on Friday, big time. Tomorrow, website only, theraiderland.com. I'll give you a little column tomorrow, and you guys can jump in on that. But no broadcast or anything. No commentary the rest of the week. I'm sorry, I should have said that yesterday. No daily commentary the rest of the week. Friday, though, balls to the wall. We will have, column, 5 things, not 5 things, the most Texan thing you've done this week. So go do something really Texan. And then we'll have our prediction show and everything else. And then 11 a.m. kickoff. Yay. Yay. Bobby Layne would have found a way for Jack Daniels to be a tech corporate sponsor. Crown Royal, actually. Have a blessed Thanksgiving, and to you as well, Jan, and to everybody out there. Just I hope it's stress-free. I hope it's relaxing. I hope it's enjoyable for everybody, and the travel is easy. It's supposed to be fun. So I hope it's fun for everybody. I feel like there's something else I wanted to get to tonight, and I'm not seeing it. No, I mean, we got. Oh yeah, everybody, pray for Mark Finkner, Lady Raider basketball radio play-by-play. He's in St. Thomas with them. Make sure he puts on sunscreen. Somebody out there, make sure he puts. I've seen this before. 1998, in Florida, Coral Gables. It's not good. We can't do that, man. The fake Natalie Maines, who may or may not be the real Natalie Maines. Dear Hyde, how are you? I am fine. I am fine as well. Why are coaches that might be rough around the edges so offensive to the Baptist? Would Tech ever hire a flashy coach like Prime? I'm going to stop right there. No. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, no. It's not just the Baptist. Lutherans, Church of Christ, they all get jumpy. They do. My man Trace. Hope you and yours have a great Thanksgiving day, Rhino. We will. We do. And hope you do as well. All right. Take care of your people down there. Extra hugs for the wife. Do we think Market Street? Yeah, we did. United Supermarkets, making sure all of you guys right there in a row. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Everybody gets to comment on this show. Everybody gets in. It's easy, simple. We want to thank them. They're closed tomorrow, so don't be going there. The last jumpy Lutheran was the original Lutheran, Martin. Martin Jumpy Lutheran. Yeah, he was jumpy. Got 99 problems, but Tech football ain't one of them, baby. No, I'm just sitting here waiting to see if anybody else has got anything. We probably could have done more on the family sports traditions and Thanksgiving traditions, but maybe on Friday we do something about best college rivalries and rivalry games that you've been to or things of that sort, since it is the weekend for that. So there you go. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. Go check on pecan pie. We don't have any pecan pie that I'm aware of. Ham. That's what's on the menu tomorrow. Ham. That's all I need. Ham. More ham. No turkey. The last Southwest Conference game, the Aggies and Sips game. Hold on. The last Southwest Conference game, the Aggie Sips game. UT fans rushed the field after they won. Several people were roughed up by the Corps. I have no idea where that came from. Like in the Southwest Conference era or the Big 12 era before A&M left, or I don't know. Yes, just ham. Times are tough. We're trying to overcome a lot of things out here in West Texas over the last 4 years. So everybody gets a slice of ham. I mean, what more do you want? You get 2 slices if you want, and a Butterfinger fun size for dessert. But yeah, you got ham. What more do you need? Going back to Randy's comments, I'm actually looking forward to A&M and Texas playing again. You know. All right. So the last Southwest Conference game in 1995, when they played together in '95. The Alan says no sides. No, ham. You can have 2 slices, 3 slices. What do you need? You have ham, and you're thankful for it. No gravy, just ham, meat. It's Thanksgiving, right? I don't know what you guys do at your house. We're having ham. Gravy. Huh. Never thought of that. I just mess up the ham. I'll give a full report on Friday on all of the delicacies that are served. We will start off tomorrow with a brunch at my in-laws. That'll be awesome and fantastic. And then we will convene back at our house later on in the day for a more traditional style Thanksgiving meal, ham, but with sides and everything else. People are nice. I might even take a few pictures and put it out there. But yes. A lot of people moving away from traditional Thanksgiving going full-blown Mexican food. I ain't got no problem with that. I was voted out 1-1 on like doing like Frito pie and stuff like that. Didn't happen. Oh yeah, there may be 3. I mean, things are picking up out here. Have you not seen Landman? Yeah, we're all rich in West Texas now. Yeah, we're all doing good. All right, you guys go have a great weekend. Well, it's not the weekend. It still feels like Friday. God, this whole week has been messed up. All right, you guys go have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy it. Be safe if you're going out tonight. It's amateur night, so be real safe if you're going out there hanging out with friends and family at different places around wherever you call home. Then tomorrow, enjoy it, and then get ready. Let's get back together on Friday evening. Plenty to talk about. The last thing I ask you to do, replay live, everybody else, share this with your friends. Put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter. Grow Raiderland that way. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up thing and like it and grow the metrics and everything else. If you watch on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. You watch on YouTube, hey, like us on Facebook. It don't cost nothing. Everything else. All right. Now, yeah, buttons I got to hit. That's a fun conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a good time. Got to hit that. Got to do that. Hold on while I strike a seductive pose.